Lieutenant General Rajiv Ghai, the Director General of Military Operations, provided a rare account of Operation Sindoor during a briefing to army chiefs of UN troop contributing countries at an event in New Delhi. In a rare operational disclosure, Lieutenant General Ghai, who also dons the hat of Deputy Chief of Army Staff, revealed details of Operation Sindoor, India's measured retaliation to the Pahalgam terror attack that killed 26 civilians. Lieutenant General Ghai framed the campaign as evidence of a doctrinal shift in India's counter-terrorism approach, marked by precision, persistence, and political clarity.
It set into motion a process. Everybody knew that a response was inevitable. But we took our time, ladies and gentlemen. The Chief of Army Staff has probably alluded to this in some of his exchanges with the media, that there was complete flexibility for the armed forces to carry out and prosecute the actions that followed. So between the 22nd of April and the night of the 6th and 7th of May, the actions that you see on your screen were evolving and unfolding. So we were appreciating enemy courses of action. We were prioritizing our targets. And I'll just speak in a moment about that. We carried out certain precautionary deployment on our borders to make sure that the enemy was deterred. And of course, there was a lot of inter-service government departments and agencies that were coordinating amongst themselves. The final selection of targets was carried out from a large number of targets that we kind of scrutinized. And of course, while all this was happening, there was a very harmonized and proactive information warfare campaign that was also unfolding.
He reiterated the Prime Minister's three guiding principles. Terror attacks will be treated as acts of war. Nuclear blackmail will not deter India. And no distinction will be made between terrorists and their sponsors.
There has been a doctrinal shift in our strategy against terror. Our Prime Minister has spoken about it. And these are the three things he said. That terror attacks are an act of war. And therefore there will be decisive retaliation. We will not succumb to nuclear blackmail. And there is no distinction between terrorists and their sponsors.
Conducted along the line of control in May, the operation inflicted heavy losses in Pakistan, with over 100 soldiers and more than 100 terrorists killed.
So there was also cross-border firing by Pakistan immediately once the terror targets were engaged. You can see the number of ceasefire violations on the top, and this carried on for a while. And at that point in time, if you recollect my media interaction, I'd said about 35 to 40 is what our estimate was. But the Pakistanis, possibly unwittingly, let out their awards list. I think last month it was on the 14th of August. The number of posthumous awards that they awarded suggests to us now that their casualties in the line of control were also in excess of 100.
The Indian Air Force carried out precision strikes on 11 Pakistani air bases, destroying radars, hangars, and multiple aircraft. Notably, India achieved the world's longest surface-to-air kill at over 300 km, downing 5 advanced fighters.
You can see that, retaliation, rockets, drones, I think everything was a dismal failure. And I think in large part to the very strong integrated air defense that we could put up. And you can see on the left that a variety and class of drones was utilized in an attempt to cause casualties and damage to men and material. But everything was a dismal failure. On the right, you can see one of the missiles that was utilized. So this, of course, then led us to swing the Indian Air Force into action, and in precision strikes that they carried out on the night of the 9th and 10th of May. Now we hit 11 of their air bases, and of late, I think the Air Chief has spoken about that. If you see, 8 air bases, 3 hangars and 4 radars were damaged. Pakistani air assets were destroyed on the ground. So we know for sure that one C-130 class of aircraft and one AEW, 4 to 5 fighter jets, and of course there were assets that were also destroyed in air. And we now know that the world's longest ever ground-to-air kill at 300 kilometers plus, and 5, of course, high-tech fighters. I think the impunity with which these attacks were carried out is what is significant.
The Indian Navy simultaneously deployed in strength in the Arabian Sea, demonstrating India's readiness for escalation. Within 88 hours, Pakistan was forced to seek a ceasefire, highlighting the controlled yet decisive nature of India's operations.
The Indian Navy was also very much in action, ladies and gentlemen, and this is possibly a fact that is not so well known, but the Navy had sailed into the Arabian Sea, and when the DGMO spoke, they were very well poised, and had the enemy decided to take it any further, it could have been catastrophic for them, not only from the sea, but from other dimensions as well.
By openly sharing operational lessons before global military leaders, India projected both its joint operational capability and its commitment to responsible, calibrated responses. Operation Sindoor thus stands as a demonstration of India's evolving doctrine, firm in resolve, precise in execution, and strategic control over the escalation ladder.